What's going on, everybody? This week we are doing a flashback episode from February 6th, 2017 with Tony Lamantia from Annihilate the Hero. So sit back, enjoy some old shit, and maybe hear something for the first time.
Welcome to the very first episode of Shooting This Shit with Baldy. I am Baldy. Today we've got a great show. This is our very first episode. We got Tony Lamantia from Annihilate the Hero. So here you go. Here's some fucking Annihilate the Hero for your Sunday fucking morning. Welcome back. That was Annihilate the Hero with their song Exile off the album Oracle. Later on in the show, we'll be talking with Tony Lamantia as to how he's doing and how their band Annihilate the Hero has been doing. I started this show because I'm tired of seeing the local format in Southern Illinois not get a voice. It is very difficult for us in the genre that we are in to get any place to play. A lot of us end up paying to play just to get a decent show. We get the luxury and the luckiness of opening for some major acts at times. But most of the time we end up trying to help each other out. You know, there's no competition here. What we do is we travel all over Southern Illinois and we jam together. We're friends, we're brothers, we're family. You know, we know each other's families. We go to each other's birthday parties. We hang out with each other at barbecues. We go and play at places all over Southern Illinois, just having a blast. Yeah, we have some shows that are shit and some shows that are really, really good. We've all seen our fair share of them. But back in 2011, I started the Southern Illinois Metal Movement in likeness of the Southern Illinois Metal Collective. There was several bands that were part of the collective. A lot of things were going on differently back then, and I had no idea the scene back then was where it was. I personally wasn't even in a heavy metal band back then. I had started in a band called Driftwood String Band that did a lot of like Bob Marley music and jazz fusion type music. We'd played at the VFW for a while, but I had no clue about the local heavy metal around here until I went to go see Gogata play with a ton of other bands. That idea right there later on spawned into what you guys know as Metal in the Mountains. I took the idea from what they were doing, watching how they played their shows, watching how much of a brotherhood it really was, even in that short 10-hour show, 12-hour show, whatever the case. But it was great to see because around here, like I said before, it's so difficult to get booked. In Mount Vernon, you can't even get booked at a local venue. You know, you've got limited resources. You've got maybe 3 places in Mount Vernon that you can get booked to play. And it's like that everywhere. We've seen instances where you go to book a show and they get pissed off because they don't like heavy metal. And it's a bunch of old-timers in there. No disrespect to the older crew, but we're trying to do something we love. And if that means we have to buy a place out for the night, then we buy a place out for the night. Which is why we left some of the places behind that we had played at, and we started playing at new places. I've watched Battle of the Band type shows go horribly wrong, where the venues flat out don't give a shit what you're doing. And they change the rules on you at the last second, and you end up screwed for the show you're trying to put on. You're given a competition chance, and then they are shocked when you bring a big crowd. You know, if you, no disrespect to cover bands, but if you're a cover band, you guys can get just about anywhere you want to. But we're writing our own material, busting our asses to try to get where we're going, and nobody wants to book us. So that's what this show's all about, is giving you guys out there that play this kind of music and enjoy doing what you do. And you've helped me out as well doing this stuff with the Metal in the Mountains shows every year, and helping thicken the scene around here. I believe the local scene today is probably stronger than it's ever been, especially seeing a lot of the bands that were out back before a lot of us today got started, you know, like Deadwater, Gogata, Lunatic, Annihilate the Hero. You know, there was some bands that I don't know if they're around anymore, but I'd love to hear from you guys, like Sios, Blood of Heroes, stuff like that. I mean, there's so many bands around here. You got Washco Low Lives, Another Day Drowning, Some Kind of Chaos, Spirit of Chaos. You know, it's and then there's new bands popping up out of those bands that are out today, like Odium, you know, Caveman, Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. I mean, it's amazing to see the network change around here, and you know, we're a family. We're not competition for each other. We don't care whether or not we get where we get. We just want to have fun and have a good environment to jam in, and you know, see our friends, which are our fans. You know, it's a big family, like I've said before. As I mentioned before, though, we're going to have an interview with Tony Lamantia from Annihilate the Hero. I seen these guys for the first time probably in 2011, maybe 2010. I can't exactly remember where. I do remember the very first time that I actually paid attention, that I wasn't hammered ass drunk and I seen them. and that was at their CD release party at PK's. I believe may have been for the Oracle album, may have been for the album prior to Oracle, but I'm not quite sure on that. But I do remember seeing them for the first time and was blown completely away. They played a show in Mount Vernon called Zombie Fest that I'd put on before I started doing hardcore with the Metal in the Mountains show. I think that was in between 1 and 2. These guys are amazing. They flat out kill every time they play. It's so nice to see such professionals jam out. You know, they've played I think they've played just about every Metal in the Mountains show we've had. Maybe just 3 or 4 of them, but I can't remember very well. My memory's pretty well shot. But that's the reason why I write every shit down. But I seen these guys play a while back and fell in love with what they did. And then I heard the Oracle album, which, sorry, it's my favorite. I love that album. The second track on that album completely blows me away. It starts out as an instrumental. You'll hear it later in the show. Starts out as an instrumental and it just goes. I mean, and the whole CD runs together. And, you know, there's some bands out there that could pull that off, and these guys are one of them. It reminds me of one of those albums like Pink Floyd used to do, where you put out an album, and it just runs. And by the time you're in the 5th song, like with Oracle, you don't even realize you're in the 5th song. It sounds like one piece of music, and it's unreal. It blew me away the first time I listened to it, and then looked at the back of the CD and thought, wait a minute, I'm still on track 1. No, the CD was over. So these guys are just flat out amazing. So here's the thing. Basically, you guys got to support your local artists. I mean, you realize that all the heavy names that you guys enjoy, those of you that don't know what I'm talking about and you're listening for the first time and just finding out about these bands and everything, your favorite band that you have that's a mainstream band started out in a garage, just like us. You know, we don't want, well, some of us don't want the fame and fortune. I don't know about the rest of them, but I know some of us just want to play and have fun. I know my band particularly doesn't really give two shits if we get signed. We want to be as professional as we can out there in the local scene, putting on good shows. We've done a lot in this area, and I mean, if you don't support your local artists, then we can't continue to keep playing around here. I mean, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher. And, you know, I've seen a lot of really good shows around here from local artists. You guys come out and you hammer it down with us. You guys party with us. You hang out with us. You headbang with us. And you guys are so supportive of the music that we play. And we really, really, truly want to thank you and, you know, keep it up, because, you know, we're going to keep doing this. We don't care if there's 5 people in the crowd or if there's 50 people in the crowd. Obviously, you know which we prefer, but that's just the way it is. We do it for the love of the music. We don't do it because we're trying to get rich quick. You know, I mean, if that's the case, then, you know, you end up fizzling out. You end up just supporting your band and no one else's, and that's the one thing we aim more than anywhere is don't just come out, you know, jam with your band and then you take the fuck off. Hang out, party with the bands. You know, you've got to support your scene around here. If you just play and then you bail, I mean, now if you've got priorities you got to handle, I understand. I have 3 kids myself, and one of them's only 20 months old, so I completely get family. You know, like, currently I'm on a break right now, and this right here kind of fills the time. Like right now it's 3:40 in the morning here, doing this show, trying to get it up off the ground so you guys can hear some of these bands around here. So this is my love for this show. That's the reason I've got the Baldy's page. That's the reason why I've got close to, 35 bands, or I think I've got 25 bands, something like that, on my website right now that, they don't even know they're linked to it. You know, it's just something that I did to support them. You know, I love every one of these guys. They are family to me, and that's just the way it's going to be. We love playing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this shit. Some of it's a hobby, some of us truly love it. Speaking of love, we're going to show a little bit of love and jam some more Annihilate the Hero. So crank it up, crack you open a beer, and enjoy some tunes.
With me on the phone for our first episode is Tony Lamantia. How we doing, brother?
Doing kick-ass, man. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem, man. This is our first show, so welcome.
Thank you.
I have to say, I've shared the stage with you guys on many occasions. You guys are like machines, man. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are flawless. I have to admit.
Thank you.
Always.
A lot of practice.
I'd imagine. You guys are definitely one of the elite around here, and we love seeing you guys play.
Thank you, man.
Where did you get started in the local scene, and how did you guys get together?
I've been playing in the local scene for a really long time. Cardell, excuse me, is really where I started at. I've always either lived here in Jonesboro or in Carbondale, and I was in a band called Deprive way back in the day, and then before that a band called El Pecado, and like as all bands do, you play, people drop off, it's like it distills down. The people who really want to play continue, those who don't, they go do their own thing, you know what I mean? And we were in the last phase of the band Deprive, and our vocalist, he was a great guy, but he really wasn't into it. You know, he wanted all the things that came with being a rocker, but he didn't want to put the work into it. So the guitar player for our band at the time, his name was Aaron Jones. His wife met Thomas at SIU, and she's like, I met this guy. He's awesome. You should try him out for the band. So we're like, yeah, that sounds great. And Thomas came in. This was, I guess, 2001, whenever we did it. And we just recorded an album. And he came over after we gave him the CD. We gave him the CD with the old vocals on it. And he wrote his own lyrics. And he came in and he crushed it. So that's how Thomas did, man. He just came in and he was only singing at that point. But he came in and then he became our vocalist, and we retracked the vocals for that CD and we released it, and so been down fucking rocking from there. So.
How many albums you guys got out now?
We have 6 full-length albums and then 1 EP.
Wow.
We've got 3 songs on it.
Wow. How long have you guys been together?
We initially got together in 2001, and we've been going since then. Well, we had an old drummer. His name was Jason Bryant. He left around, I'd say, 2004, 2005, something like that. And then Mal was in our band. Okay, let me backtrack here. Started off with me and Thomas, drummer named Jason Bryant, and a guitar player named Aaron Jones. We released 1 album with that lineup. Then the guitar player decided he was going to quit. So Thomas switched over to doing guitar and vocals, and then we got Justin Baldy, who is our current drummer, to play guitar as well. Then we released an album under that name, and with that lineup, and then the drummer, Jason, decided he wanted to do his own thing, so Mal switched into the position of the drums, and so from about 2005 on is what you know. It's like Annihilate the Hero.
Nice. Yeah, I love playing with you guys. I think the last time we actually got to see each other was at the Metal in the Mountain show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. That was a good time, man. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun for me. I loved it. That was the first time I think we'd ever done it at the Granada. The last few years before that, we'd always tried to do it at the Crossing. But now we're keeping it. Now we're keeping it as the new home at the Granada Theater. So yearly, it will be there now. So we're really excited about that. And you guys will be back for that one as well with Go-Gotta this year and Lunatic.
It'll be pretty awesome, man. We haven't played with Go-Gotta for a long time.
Yeah, I'd imagine. It's been a crazy ride. I didn't expect so many bands to start trying to reform and come back together, and just the scene, I think, is probably the strongest I think I've ever seen it, and I've been in it only about 10 years.
That's awesome, dude. I'd love to hear it, man. You know, we're all us metalheads and punk kids and all these people, we're kind of outcasts, you know, so I love seeing people get together, play some music, and have a lot of fun, and not everybody fighting with each other and being stupid. I like it when everybody gets along. So.
Yeah, same here. It makes for a really good vibe for the night, even if it, things happen at shows. We all have problems. We all have our mishaps, but that's one thing I do like about the scene around here is there's very little fighting within the group of friends that we all are, because we don't find ourselves as competition.
Exactly. Because, I understand that you want everybody to hear your band, but if you're cool with the other bands and you want to play shows and you want to help other people out, that's just doing good for everybody. You know, because everybody has a good vibe, everybody wants to come out and have fun. You can pack the house, he's doing shit like that.
Yeah.
There's only one band that's trying to be like, don't come see my band, and it's just, I don't know, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, it gets rather repetitious when that kind of thing is what you got to face.
I definitely agree.
So, do you have a favorite song or a favorite album?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite album. There are some that I revisit quite a bit. I really enjoy the album Images of Disgust. We put that out in 2005. That's a real good one. There are some songs off of the 2010 self-titled that we did, and I think all those songs are pretty awesome. And yeah, I don't know, I like everything, but I have to say my favorite song is Purge at the Crossing, if I was going to have a favorite song. But it's been one of my favorites to play since we wrote it, and that was a long time ago. So.
What's the most screwed up thing you've ever seen while being out on the road?
You know, I was thinking about that when you sent me the question, and I'm not sure that we've really seen a lot of screwed up stuff. I've seen a lot of funny stuff, though. And so I'm going to answer this with two answers. One is on the serious side, and the other one is definitely not on the serious side. We were fortunate enough to go on tour with a band down in Texas. We were playing in San Antonio at a place called the White Rabbit. It was awesome. Turnout was fun. Everybody played really well. And then, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a gang kind of battle or what it was, but after we got done playing and the main guys got done playing, all of a sudden everybody is out in the parking lot, and it looked like a battle was going to go down. And these guys are screaming and fighting, and chicks are screaming, and dudes are slapping people around. And I was like, "Fuck this! Let's get out of here!" Mike Coles was with us. He was rode in and taking pictures of us and stuff. And he's like, "Get in the fucking van. We're getting out of here right now." You know, they're like, "Who's got a gun?" And everybody's fucking scattered, and we peeled out of there like something from the 80s, man. It was crazy. It was fun, not looking on it now, but I'm glad I didn't die in Texas that day.
I'd imagine so. We're glad you didn't either.
It was fun, but it was definitely interesting. Then the other story that I had is funny for me. Hopefully, this isn't going to offend anybody listening out there, but you know, when you're playing, sometimes you get fans that are like, they dig you. You know what I mean? And as a single man at the time, there was a young lady who decided she enjoyed the way I looked and acted, and she was chatting me up after we got done playing. So we talked and we drank a couple of beers, and one thing led to another, so we go out to my van. We're out there and we're talking, and she was polite enough that she was going to offer me her services. So we're in the van, and nobody's outside, and I was like, well, let's go on in here. So we're talking, and one thing led to another, and you know, we were becoming intimate. And the next thing you know, the guys had come outside, and I didn't know it because I was obviously occupied at the time. And this van is just going to town, rocking. Here comes Thomas, beating on the side of it. What's going on? She started freaking out, and she was like, "Are they watching? What's going on?" And I was like, "No, baby, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it." And of course, she decided she was done, and so she's stressed. And she walks out the door, and all the guys are just clapping and catcalling. And I walk out, and I'm like, "Thanks, boss." I'm blocked by my own bones.
Oh, if it could be anybody, you would prefer it to be them, though.
Right.
Not mom or dad, you know.
It's a pretty funny story now that I look on it. At the time, you know, it wasn't real comfortable. So.
I'd imagine not. you guys got any new material or any upcoming shows?
Yeah, we are working on. We have 5 songs that are, I'd say, 75% done for a new album. We haven't really got like a number set in stone as far as what we're going to stop at.
Right.
But there are 5 like this one's going to be more along the lines of our 2013 album Oracle, to where they all hook together. It's individual songs, but it's played as one piece of music.
Right.
So we've got 5 of them more or less done. We're working on some transitions in between the 2, and then we have ideas for quite a bit more. So I think it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I'm excited.
Cool. That'd be nice to hear. Oracle, I know Oracle in this area is huge for you guys. I just recently looked at your YouTube, and your guys are close to 300 hits just on that particular album, not to mention the individual tracks you guys have on your YouTube. So I know I enjoy it. I probably have the last 3 albums you guys have put out. I've come to the last 2 CD releases you guys have had. I've seen you guys play numerous times, and like I said before, you guys are continuously flawless. And I love personally when you guys do the Oracle album as a whole. That is like, I think that's what makes it stand out more than anything for you guys.
It's real fun. We're real proud of it. We worked hard on it, and I'm super glad that people are digging it. You know, I'd say of the stuff that we've released recently means several years, we continuously get the most compliments from that, and then it just makes me feel good, you know, because we worked real hard. There were a couple of times like slamming my head against a brick wall when we were trying to write some of that stuff, but
I understand that.
And I'm very proud of it. I'm just happy people dig it. So.
Right. Now, I was really impressed by the follow-up as well, the Seventh Circle. I mean, tell us about that album.
Actually, it's funny because the last 2 songs on that album is just a little EP. The song Purge the Crossing, which is the one I really enjoy so much, and then another one that I hate to say it, but it is not, my brain is not working right now. The last 2 songs on there anyway, we had those written before Oracle was released, but it didn't fit with Oracle, you know what I mean? So
right.
We kind of held them in our pocket, and then we didn't want them to die, so we wrote another one, and then we just put it out there on that EP, The Seventh Circle. It was pretty fun. We liked it, and I kind of feel that because there were only 3 songs, it sort of gets overlooked sometimes. But it's a really good song. It's like super fast, all claws and teeth, and who doesn't like claws and teeth, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, brother, it's always good to hear from you, man. I love sitting down talking with you and picking your brain, man.
Good to hear from you too as well, brother. Thank you for having me on the show.
Not a problem, man.
All right, you have a great one. Talk to you soon.
My plan to conquer Nick Jr. didn't work out, so I'm going to stay up all night and color my deck with markers.
Shooting the shit with Baldy, where we make it our goal to piss off your neighbors. we heard today was Exile, Purge at the Crossing, Envy the Dead, and Sunset Execution. You can find all those tracks on Annihilate the Hero's YouTube channel. It's always a pleasure to sit down and, shoot the shit with Tony from Annihilate the Hero. I want to thank him. Thank you for being on the show, brother. It's always a pleasure. If you want to hear more from Annihilate the Hero or talk with the band themselves, you can hit them up on www.facebook.com/Annihilate the Hero. You can also scroll to the main page of Baldy's and click the bands page. I've got a complete list of all the bands that you're going to soon hear from on the show, I hope. And that's www.baldiez.weebly.com. And you can check out, we've got a blog page on there. You can hit up bands. You can listen to music on there. You can look at the past events of Metal in the Mountains, 1 through 4. There's all kinds of material on there. I leave you now with the song Enlightenment, which is the second track off of Oracle by Annihilate the Hero. Tune in next Sunday at 10 a.m. when we will have Uncle Dave from Groove Tank Dynasty joining us. We're going to jam some songs from Groove Tank and see what he's doing. This is Baldy. Love you guys. Metal horns up.